In our first game, Kelly Coffman of Topeka, Kansas, will take on two-time champion Ron Williams of Fort Worth. That winner will meet Rookie of the Year contender Derek Williams. Next up is the defending champion Ray Edwards. And our tournament leader, Parker Bohn III, is a 5-time champion. That's our outstanding field of finalists for the $1.5 million here and 650,000 over there. It's the largest population at any international crossing in the entire world. Let's cross the line and get to the U.S. of A. I'm headed for El Paso.
Feet down the lane this week, a very simple lane condition, and for what it's worth, if you get it a little bit wide, the ball does not come back. However, the players, Chris, must keep the ball between the second and third arrows for the right-handers and the left-handers, and there's a lot of money at stake.
Yes, $130,000 total, with 20 going to the champion, 10-5 runner-up, 7.55 in the loser of our very first match, which is about to begin, $4,500. Kelly Coffman, larger of the two, 6'2", 240 pounds, will bowl first. There he is, from Topeka, Kansas, 26-year-old, going against Ron Williams of Fort Worth. A 10-pin.
Kelly Coffman with the power ball, solid 10. I'd say, Chris, there's only 2 chinks in his own little bit of experience, and he needs that by staying out here to learn to throw the ball straighter at times, and his spare making is suspect.
It's his first telecast of this year, 4th of his career. 2 last year when he was 2nd at the True Value and 4th in the Florida Open. Now, a 2-time PBA National champion, 30-year-old Ron Williams of Fort Worth. Best finish this year, 8th in the Active West and at Fresno.
Come on, baby.
And he is mic'd, and come on, baby, worked with the stroke. Bo?
You're right, Chris, and I said the Miller Barber of professional bowling, and i.e. his arm swing. Watch how he pushes it away, and then he takes it outside with that bent elbow position. Now the key is right here. He's in an awkward position, but he realigns it coming on through the downswing, gets that ball right next to the left leg, a nice loft over the foul line, and see how his hand stayed underneath the bowling ball. It's the finish in that last half a step that counts. He starts with a strike.
Carry.
That it did. One words, one-liners for Ron Williams. First title, Bud Classic in Columbus, Ohio in '88. And looking for that first one, edging up on it, Topeka Bowler of the Year in '88 and '89. So, for Kelly, that's his first strike.
The big guy with the powerful ball. Look at how steady his head is. Those eyes, the key right there, and looking forward. Look at this position here. He's kind of open with this right foot. Then he drops down inside out, and you see that wrist roll underneath the ball. Look at no hand turn around the ball. He can really do it.
And a 4-pin. And Bo, you know about 4-pins. We're so proud of you in your first seniors event. You finished 5th out of having defeated bowled better than 419 seniors. Boy, we're proud of you, but that darn 4-pin.
Thank you, Chris. It was my undoing, but a great tournament in Las Vegas.
That it was. And that week, I think you earned more than you did the year you won here in El Paso in 1970.
$3,000 was first place in the pro tournament here in 1970 when I won. $4,000 I received Thursday night for a 5th place finish on the seniors. Now here's Ron Williams, perfect through 2.
Hold it.
Speak of the 4, we're...
Well, Chris, I think we all know that a player has a tendency to pull the ball when he's under a pressure. 75% of the bad shots, if you ask any pro or even top amateurs, are left of target. Ron got a little soft with that shot, went high, and has an easy spare.
All right.
And here's Bonnie, mother of Scott and Sean. Now Kelly Coffman tells us the key to following or enrolling. Ron Williams has this little sound bite to give us that we recorded earlier. Talks about changes that he made in all but the 7-pin. As he rubs his face, I don't blame him. Broke up a split, however, Bo.
You're right, Chris. And the key here on synthetic lanes, these are synthetic lanes, no wood underneath these lanes, is accuracy and speed control. If Ron threw us a little too soft, he goes high. A little too hard, he finished light on that shot.
Okay, we're in our very first game. An 8-pin lead by Ron Williams, at whom you're looking. We'll be back. Beautiful bowling establishment, one of the finest in the nation, is Kelly Coffman, trailing by 8 with a spare working, shoots on the right lane.
A little bit hard. Speed control, the key part of this bowling center today. Any balls thrown wide of the second arrow, close to the first arrow, will slide by the head pin. However, Kelly topped that ball, didn't get the good wrist action, breaks down the 2-4-5, left with the 2-4. Kelly with a lot of speed, 19 to 20 miles an hour on his first ball, also uses the full approach to accommodate that big hook. He gets about 18 revolutions on the ball, so he has it all going. It's a matter of Kelly getting it in the pocket.
Put some fingers in it. Don't want it like a bow.
Well, even though I don't know if he has a microphone on, but you could sure hear him say that he's not throwing it as well as he wants to. For Coffman, once again, Chris, if he gets that strike ball going, he's almost unbeatable. However, spares have been his downfall. Let's see if he can convert the 2-4-5 here.
Just about to point out that he wastes so little time in moving to the line, Bo, and sometimes that's costly.
Kelly needs a little experience. He has a lot of natural ability, and you see him just chop the 2-4 off the 5, opens the door for Ron Williams, who now has a 24-pin lead through 5 frames.
And now the little of the same for Ron Williams of Fort Worth, the 2-4-5 on the right lane.
See if he takes a little different angle of attack to this spare. Now, we saw Kelly Coffman go down the center, gamble on the hook ball into the 2-5 zone. Let's see if Williams uses a little different shot and tries to cut down the percentages of chop.
Don't you? Thank you.
A few anxious moments as he says thank you. Ron Williams tells the changes he's made here in 1992 because it's become his most consistent year.
Well, Bo, I basically have been working a lot of different hand positions, and when the lanes are slick, I've tried to stay underneath the ball and try and get more roll on it. And when the lanes are starting to hook, I'll turn my hand toward the side of the ball to spin it through the heads to make it go longer down the lane.
And right now, Chris, he's not following his own advice. He's spinning one ball, which makes it go down the lane longer, like he left the 2-4-5, and that time he kept under the ball a little bit more. So you have to be consistent in that hand position. However, he's gotten himself in a pretty good position. Even though he's not throwing a lot of strikes, he's still leading by 20 pins.
He was 1 of 4 to bowl perfect 300 games this week. It does feel good to sit down, Bo.
Don't realize the pressure on these players until you sit in that seat.
Looks good. Carry!
Ah, yes, after an open frame, bouncing back. Kelly Coffman, he tells us the key to rolling 4 consecutive 300 games in 4 cities on the tour.
Well, I started out in Seattle, bowled one there, and then I bowled one in Portland, Riverside, and then last week in Fresno. And it's a combination of bowling well, a little bit of luck involved, and you've got to have both of those really for the PBA conditions out here, because they're a lot different than league conditions, and all that helps out. And it would be nice to shoot a 5th one here in El Paso this week.
Along with you, he saw a break as the 10-pin went out, leaving only the 7. So cross lane now, Kelly Coffman. We're at Bowl, El Paso, in the city by the same name. We'll return in a moment as you get an idea of some of the flavor here.
Oh, no. Oh.
Both professionals. mic'd, and you get their reactions, which often great captions for the pictures. Let's see if he says anything after trying to cover this pin. Very businesslike. Ron Williams, as we go to another businesslike man, Nelson Burton.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Derek Williams. The two righties are high on one lane, light on the other. How about the left side? Is there a big difference in the lanes?
Well, Bo, it looks like from practice, everything seemed to be pretty close to being even on both sides. Left lane may have been just a hair tighter for me, but they're playing pretty close to the same for me.
All right, he looks like he can go at him, Chris. We'll know in a minute.
All right, that was Derek Williams, Beaumont area. No relation to this man, Ron Williams. But they're Texans. And that's where we are. The very corner of the Lone Star State. And it's hot, 102. All right, continuing to mark is Ron Williams as Kelly Coffman is back up. Kelly's first television appearance was in 1990. Finished second in Milwaukee. It was there that he beat Marshall Holman and then lost to Parker Bohn, who is our tournament leader here in this event. Ooh, well done. Next Saturday on ABC Sports right here, Bowling's Hot Shots will duel in the desert sun again. The summer tour continues to stay hot for the $125,000 Tucson PBA Open. That's next Saturday. Golden Pin Lanes, Pete Tontis and all.
Norm Duke, the defending champion, just Stayrook made the 7-10 split there last year on TV. Now Kelly Coffman to close the ground.
All right, 8 pins separating these two professionals. Trailing Bate is the man at whom you're looking. Watch this reaction.
Watch this wrist action, too.
Spare up. Close. There's a ninth frame strike, Nelson.
Ron Williams, known for his great clutch bowling, Chris, has had a lot of misfortunes on TV. He averaged 249 shooting scores of 257 and 251 and 239 while losing matches on TV. As you see his position on the line, he's going to start here. He'll drift to the left and then be right over the second arrow. This is a big shot, 10th frame.
Carry it.
Man.
Sets up the possibility of Kelly Coffman throwing strikes to win or even a tie match. As you see him drifting to the left, a good loft over the foul line. Doesn't get the love tap on the 10. The best he can bowl is 202. Coffman a potential 214.
Stuck a little bit at the line, but nevertheless continuing to mark here in our first game in this close match. The winner will have a great opponent in Derek Williams, and that'll be our next game.
See that face. Remember Jim Hart, St. Louis Cardinals, soon to be a Hall of Famer in the NFL? Kelly Coffman lookalike will need a strike, at least one, to win this match.
Four pin in El Paso. That's been part of our story today. But it's a 201 for Ron Williams.
Kelly Coffman must strike on this ball and get 8 in a spare to win. If he does not strike on this ball, he cannot advance to the next match. This is the key shot.
Only a 6 pin.
Boy, I'll bet you he wants that back, Chris. Cannot win the match. The best he can do is 193. It's going to be Ron Williams against Derek Williams in the second match. Boy, he sure wants that back. Ron Williams got a great break to win sitting on the bench in a high-scoring environment like this, and Kelly Coffman be the first to admit that that was one of the poorest balls he's throwing, but that's how you learn out here. You learn from the bad things and improve next time.
190 for Kelly Coffman. We'll see him again soon. Nice win for Ron Williams. It was ABC Sports presentation of the professional and Derek Williams of the Williams Boys Bowling Group.
Ron Williams, a product of the junior bowling program in the St. Louis area. Grew up in Cahokia, Illinois, just across from St. Louis, and we're going to have a PBA seniors and PBA regular doubles tournament there in August. Cahokia, Illinois.
Okay, and he starts out very well. He was 5th here in El Paso in 1989. And of course, if you just joined us, we'll point out again, Ron defeated Kelly Coffman in the first match, 201 to 190. All right, here he is, 6-footer, 200-pounder, 26-year-old Derek Williams. And one of the two lefties on our field of 5 today leaves the 7.
Boy, he really rolled that ball nice. Gets the ball inside, good position. He's a little dipped over the shoulders, but he's going to come straight through that shot, send it out right around the second arrow. And the ball sets up nicely and leaves the solid 7. Let's see how his spear making is when he's a little nervous in the opening frame. He looks like he's got a great shot.
Derek Williams, younger brother of 6-time PBA champion and Firestone winner, Mark Williams. And there he is.
Mark's had a little bit of a struggle this year. I've crossed with him in a couple of tournaments, and he's just wondering about his game. He can't exactly nail down what is wrong. See how little brother's playing the lanes, staying way over here. He's going to drift towards the center. He's going to have the ball come out just between the second and third arrows.
Oh, 4-7 on the left lane.
Didn't like that shot. Avoids the 4, 6, 7, 10. And maybe it's the head pin that comes shooting back across. Let's follow it. No, it was the 3 pin. Hit against the sideboard. Almost took out the 4 and 7s. As a spare, he has to guard against chopping the 4 off the 7. Second frame.
That's our second game. The winner will go against Ray Edwards, our number 2 seed, who is the defending champion right here at Bowl El Paso. 2-pin lead by Ron Williams. Strike up, second frame.
Carry. Yes.
All right. Coming up next, the heavyweights return to ABC's Wide World of Sports. That's right. Tommy Morrison, who's knocked out 28ers tour in El Paso. Double up, shooting in the third frame, second game.
Hold it. No.
Nasty shot there. Ron Williams gets the ball out in what we call the dry zone around the second arrow. You see it right there, the position on the lane. Then it's very dry, that last 20 feet. Cuts right through the middle, 4, 6, 7. He'll just go for the 4-7 pin count.
So it's an open frame after a double for the winner of the first game, Ron Williams.
Here's a man with a powerful grip in his hand and his bowling ball. Just sticks his fingers in. He's got the full grip, tucks that pinky finger, rolls that wrist underneath the ball, and then right on through it.
All right. Derek Williams, hopeful for Rookie of the Year honors. Here's how he described it.
Well, the Rookie of the Year award, Bo, is a very prestigious honor. Jason Couch has bowled real good all year, and he's made it real tough for me. Come out this summer, finished 6th in Dublin, and hopefully the show here put me a little bit ahead of him. And with a win here in El Paso, I think it put me in a pretty good lead over.
He has a good point. His Couch had a great winner, Derek, coming on this summer.
Derek finished 4th at the Quaker State in Grand Prairie this year. So we got to have an opportunity now to meet Dad on the left, and that's Wayne and his wife Joanne, Derek's wife.
Derek Williams, who is now leading in this match by 3 pins, needs to convert to 2-4-7 to stay ahead.
These professional bowlers always get great family support. They fly in the day of. The Tiwa Indians here. one of their dances, which we witnessed last year. The drummer being Martin Silvius. There he is. He's the Williams. Try to bounce back. He is mic'd. He may make a comment or two. He's on the right lane.
Carry.
Okay, Nelson.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel, the man who's the defending champion here. Ray Edwards, one of your opponents, if you're going to win this tournament again, is going to be a left-hander, and a lot of righties have trouble bowling against lefties. What's your thought in a match game?
Well, really, it doesn't make any difference to me. I have to throw the ball well, and they have to throw the ball well, too, and whoever throws the ball the best is going to win.
You watch your opponent?
Yeah, I do. It really makes no difference to me.
All right, he's just playing his own game, Chris. Let's see what he does in the semifinal.
And with the double, a 7-pin lead for Ron Williams. So now it's Derek. Tide has turned here a little bit, not by much, only 7 pins with a spare up. He's shooting in the 5th frame of our second game. Winner of 2 regional titles. And a big shot. Powerful shot, Bo.
You're right, Chris, and he's zeroed on the right-hand lane, lane 32 in this 40-lane establishment. However, this is the lane that's giving him trouble. Lane 31, he went high in the 2nd frame, leaving the 4-7. Once again, he went high in the 4th frame, leaving the 2-4-7. Trails by 7 pins. 6th frame coming up, and for the statistic buffs, the man trailing after 5 frames has lost 25% of the matches, as you see his grip again. So the odds are 4-1 against Derek coming back to win this match. However, this is a big shot.
Oh. Continuing to stay loose is our tournament leader, Parker Bohn III, and Edwards, to whom Bo just spoke.
The action of the head pin goes to the sideboard. When the players bring it back and knock out the cross lane, they call it the Boy Scout. However, at that time, the Scout didn't do its job.
And Joanne, not quite as tense as she was a little earlier. As the match goes on here now, it's still close, and Ron Williams continues to lead Derek by 7 pins, a double up.
What Ron Williams has done in the last 2 shots has cut down his hook, lofted the ball over the foul line more, and gone straighter at the pocket.
Nope. Stay up.
All right, you saw some strange pin action down there as a pin rolled around and knocked the 6 out and almost knocked the 3 over. And if this pin had fallen over after hitting the rack, it would have been reset. However, it remains standing where it stands up. It's a little bit off spot. The split is a little more difficult. He has to get the ball between the 3 and 10 pins.
Our statistician today is Del Ballard, the great champion who won in Portland a few weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, and as you see, Ron Williams, a perfect shot. If that 3-pin had been knocked over by the machine, it would have been set back up in the 3-pin spot. However, if it doesn't get knocked over, wherever the machine resets it is where it stands, and that's what happened to Williams. He converted it, and he leads by 5 after 6 frames. When players are looking down at the foul line like that, especially after they bowled a game and a half, they're a little bit confused, and that is very upsetting. A player would like to be confident in his strike target, his strike angle, and his spot. Williams would lead by 3 if he converts this. Needs to do some adjusting.
Okay, we're in El Paso, and in our 30th anniversary year, 30 years ago in 19... Parker Bohn III. He's waiting.
Interesting thing about Parker, Chris, is he has won 5 PBA tournaments, all from the number 1 position, the position that's given everybody so much trouble. Now, here's Derek Williams coming up in the 7th frame, spare working, trailing by 3. Hey, partner, he's got that look on his face like he can do some damage.
Does a little, got a little red face there, and walked a little faster, and probably looked at his brother Mark, and who's looking on, Firestone champion. There's Mark.
Derek had a 3-pin lead in the third. He gave it up when Williams doubled in the fourth and fifth. Derek can retake the lead here in the eighth.
Little brother's doing all right, says Mark. All right. 7-pin lead by this man.
The look on his face, he came to play.
Spare up. Trailing by 7. Oh. What happened, Bo?
Ron Williams going very direct at the pocket, Chris, after being wide many times, has decided to go straight in. He didn't get it enough speed, and he got the ball high 4-7. The 2 went around the 4. What he needs to do is get the left of the 4-pin, drive it into the 9. If he doesn't convert this, he'll be trailing by more than a mark.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, in every sport, there has to be some luck. But let me tell you, skill has a lot to do with that shot.
Boy, not much margin of error there. You have about a 1/4 of an inch at 61 feet, and that's the distance from the foul line all the way back to the 4-pin. He converts it, keeps himself in position to stay in the match. He only trails by 9. That's the key. Less than a mark behind with 2 frames to go.
He's pumped. Next week, Tucson, then Wichita, then Edmond, Oklahoma. Professional Bowlers Tour telecasts.
Ron Williams contemplates. Derek Williams tries to extend his lead.
We said it'd be a shootout. Williams boys.
Well, he sure took over with that shot. That's as relaxed as I've ever seen a rookie throw the ball under the heat. He just let it go there in the 9th frame, and he can put away his opponent with a strike right here. Williams strikes and just stays behind the foul line. He will shut out Ron Williams. If not, Ron Williams can come up and still win the match. Here we go. Chris, I'm going to tell you the irony of the solid 10 here at Roy Lowndes El Paso Bowl. 1962, Roy Lowndes could have defeated Dick Weber for the U.S. Open Championship, and he left a solid 10, opened the door for Weber. Weber threw 6 in a row, won the U.S. Open in 62. Here it comes back again. Another lefty in 1992 leaves a solid 10 in the clutch. Let's see if it's the undoing of Derek Williams. Williams, possible 217, cannot shut out his opponent. This, Ron Williams, contemplates 2 strikes and at least 9 to win.
Good projection, Bo. Impressive performance by Derek Williams, bowling out of Groves, Texas, a native of Beaumont. 26, powerful.
Ron Williams must strike on the next 2 balls and get 9 or better in the last shot to win. Anything less, he loses.
There's one. His opponent, Derek Williams, firing a 217.
Graphic has it. Needs 1 strike and 9 to win, 1 strike and 8 to tie, 1 strike and 7 to lose. And if he doesn't strike on this ball, he'll never throw that final shot. This is a must.
Got it covered, my boy.
Awfully good for a 9 count there.
Wasn't it, though? So, marking here. It'll be a 2:17. 2:08, final score. It's a win for the rookie, Derek Williams.
How we would make this is first we'd move 3 boards left off your starting position on the lane using the same strike target as we did on our first ball. And then slide the 5 right into the...
Good shot. How about the 4-5? Do you do the same thing with the 4-5, or is it a little different?
It's just a little different. What we're trying to do is fit the ball between the 4-5. We would now move 3 boards right off our starting position, use the same strike line, the same approach, and this should fit right between the 4-5.
All right, 2 great shots. Thank you very much, Cindy. Follow Cindy Colburn's advice and your game will improve. For the 4-5, move to the right on the approach. For the 5-7 split, move to the left.
Non-winner, Derek Williams. Just off a big win over Ron. Will shoot first. Ray Edwards, one-time champion, 2 regional titles, and the defending champion here.
A good all-around athlete. Derek Williams was a high school baseball player. He pitched in his senior year. He had a 8-3 record, a 2.03 earned run average, and in his senior year led all the Texas County in hitting with a 5.24 batting average. Went on to play college baseball. Good athlete.
Entered out here on the tour by hometown physician. Derek Williams looking for his first national win, has 2 regional titles, and here he is, the defending champion. Best thus far this year was a 5th place finish in the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Ray J. Edwards. Oh, the right-hander starts out last year having a great performance here, winning his only title, but he came from the top seed.
You're right, Chris. He bowled a good game, and look at this, the form wide. This is perfect form, and I'll tell you what, Ray Edwards has as much potential out here in the tour as anybody. I think he is just beginning to prove himself. He needs a little more self-confidence, as he's been excellent in this championship pair.
So a 6-10 for the defending champion. 2nd telecast this year. 3rd overall.
Last year he bowled 216 and winning the title, but he hit the pocket every game, or every shot. As you see the full grip, he's gone to a lower surface friction ball to hopefully slide across the lane and convert to 610. And I said hopefully, and that ball was gone before it ever got to the arrows, Chris.
Yes.
Very poor shot.
Stunned.
Yes, that ball was in the channel at the 40-foot mark. Great break for Edwards, for Derek Williams. Derek Williams, solid 7. You can see how he stayed in the 42-game round. He's always been close to the top. He was second, led the qualifier of 18 games. Stayed right around, finished 3rd after 42. Now he's bowling for the semifinal position again.
With 13-10 lead now, he'll move over to the left lane.
300 games bowled this week were 2 times by the Williams boys. Derek, the man with all the ball revolutions, Bob Vespi bowled 1, and Jeff Gurman, the tough young lefty, we'll see more of him, bowled with the 4th 300 game, as we see Williams up in the 3rd has a 13-pin lead.
Seven pin for the Texan. You mentioned Bob Vespi, the Floridian from Coral Springs, and you could reach out and touch him right here, couldn't you?
Standing in the announce booth watching this replay, as you see Williams on the extreme right of the approach going over the 3rd arrow. The ball doesn't quite finish enough. 4 doesn't take out the 7, and he's been excellent in his spare shooting so far. That's what's kept him in the matches.
So Derek trying to become the first 2-game winner here in the El Paso Open, and the tournament leader Off to our right, Parker Bohn continues to practice, stay loose. And Ray Edwards now is up, trailing by 12, and this after an open frame, shooting in the third. Nice comeback. Ray Edwards says Bowl El Paso is his favorite bowling center.
Gee, I don't know, Bo, but I'm considering moving out here. Actually, I guess the synthetic lanes really help. It's a real smooth surface. Compared with wood lanes, there's a lot of imperfections in the lane, a lot of bumps and grooves. On synthetic, it's real smooth, and I got a true roll.
Next 2 weeks are synthetics, Chris. Tucson and Wichita.
Do you enjoy bowling on synthetics?
I enjoy bowling anytime, Chris. However, I learned to bowl on wood, and I've had to make some changes on synthetics. I think they favor the power player a little bit like Ray Edwards, a little bit more than the stroker type style that I have. However, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and hopefully I'll figure it out.
And for those of you that missed it, Bo stroked himself to a 5th place finish in the huge PBA Seniors event in Las Vegas. His command works out of Fort Bliss, and we're glad to have the men from Bliss here with us today. Great bowling establishment on the fort. Bo did an exhibition there recently. There's a great exhibition of striking, Nelson.
You're right, Chris. The action has started to pick up in the semifinal, but our tournament leader, Parker Bohn, has never lost. Have you, from the #1 position? I know you've won all 5 of your tournaments from the #1 position. What's the secret?
Secret is to go out and go get them. Got to go out with a positive attitude, and I have the positive attitude, and today's my day, and I'm going to go out and make it happen.
All right, give me a prediction of the final score then.
230, 240 for me, and whatever my opponent bowls.
Hopefully less, right?
Hopefully.
Good luck, Parker. Back to you, Chris.
All right, and with that strike, Derek Williams has a 22-pin lead on the defending champion, Ray Edwards, who is up and wondering. But don't forget, Ray now has a spare working. He's shooting in the 5th frame here in our semifinal match. All right, nice mixing action. Okay, coming up next, Wide World of Sports, heavyweights returning.
Derek Williams needs Ray Edwards needs a strike to cut the lead to 12.
Wonderful action now. Next, Parker Bohn get back up to stay loose. The tournament leader, he'll be next for the $20,000 first prize. 12-pin lead now with the double working. Can go back to 22. Pretty sight, all those X's.
First hint of a string we've had today in a high-scoring tournament. We saw it took almost a 225 average to make the top 24. So we know these players are capable of stringing out the big games. Williams could extend his lead to 32 with a strike here in the 7th.
Seven.
Once again, he hits a little bit light on the left-hand lane. He's left the 7-pin a couple of times on that lane, but the key is to stay around the pocket. He's ahead in the match. He doesn't want to give his opponent an opening by getting a big split or missing a spare, so the pressure's on this defending champion, Ray Edwards, as he sits on the bench and waits.
All right. We're in our semifinal match, and of course, we'll return a televised event at Frank Esposito's Paramus Bowl in New Jersey, 1961. All right.
Edwards puts together a string answering Derek Williams' lead of 21s, now cut down to 11. And Edwards can hit this championship pair. Here's how he does it. He stands to the extreme left. He's going to walk in this area. He's going to be right around the 3rd arrow. He throws a terrific strike ball. He's confident on this pair of lanes. Can make it a close match with one more strike.
All right, 1 pin. The winner of this game will meet Parker Bohn for the championship.
Did you see the look in Ray Edwards' eyes when he turned around at that foul line, Chris? He's saying, I am here to defend my title. Let's see what Williams does. Down to crunch time, 8th frame.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports, the race for the IndyCar Championship continues.
All right, Derek Williams, 9th frame, leads by 1. Boy, oh boy, you just can't throw it any better than that when you need it. His wrist rolled around that ball, and he made those pins talk. Let's see how Ray Edwards reacts to that powerful strike thrown right in his face. And once again, he's trails by 11, 9th frame. Anybody's match. The 10 pin, he's not out of the match. Last year when he won the tournament, he bowled a 216 game over a 180 by Benoit, and he hit the pocket every ball, left 3 10 pins and 1 solid 9. However, this is a bad time to leave another 10 as he falls behind by 12.
Huge error.
Chris, that is 2 spares that he has completely missed. He looked down at the approach, but he has to consider that all of a sudden, that ball that he's using for spares, not even close. Look at this. He misses this ball, goes in the channel with 5 feet still to go. I still believe in that changing balls is not the way to do it. We've seen a lot of titles go astray in that manner, and now he's buried himself in a hole. He is no longer going to be the defending champion, Chris. I think he's the former champion right now.
That's right. Ray Edwards, his second full year on tour. Ray joined the Air Force in '84, spent 4 years in Wichita Falls, Texas as an electronic technician.
Chris, the two spares cost him 26 pins. He had been leading going into the 10th. .203, the best he can do. Derek Williams, potential .247. It's going to be an all-lefty final for the 1992 El Paso Open.
Okay, Derek Williams with a .217 to Ron Williams' .208. Held him into this semifinal game, and now he has bigger and better things to come. His opponent shot a .203, Ray Edwards.
Just finishing out, Derek Williams, a potential .247. It's going to be Derek Williams going for his first PBA championship against Parker Bohn going for his 6th.
So it's going to be an all left-handed final. 2 lefties going head-to-head for the title here in El Paso. .203 is ABC Sports presentation to compete against their peers on a level adjusted to their abilities.
I think the competitive drive in these kids is more than the average person. This is really the only chance that they have to win or to completely succeed. Everybody gets a participation award just for being here, but they give out gold, silver, and bronze to the 3 winners. Come on, baby. You got it.
This is, after all, the state finals of the track and field events. For Johnny Petraglia and Parker Bohn, competitors themselves, the satisfaction comes in the interaction with these athletes. Emotions run high, and just finishing a race can be a cause for tears.
Here, Chris, and Parker not only is affiliated with that charity, he worked for me for the Children's Hospital in 1989, Danbury, Connecticut. He does a lot of that work. However, he's got a lot of work in front of him right now with a red-hot Derek Williams going for his first title.
Leaving the 10-pin, Derek in his third match of the afternoon.
All right, let's set up some statistics for the final game here. Derek Williams has averaged .231 for his 2 games so far. This is the 3rd all left-handed final this year. Cleveland, it was Albee and Cook. And at the Quaker State, it was Bishop and Stayrow.
Tough break.
Whew. Well, that wasn't even a break, I don't think, Chris. That was just as wild as you can be. He
Careless?
No, yes, it has to be careless. He can make that 7-pin. He hasn't been, that 10-pin, he hasn't missed any spares all day, and what a break for Bohn in the early going.
7-pin. Parker's in his 24th telecast. 3rd this year. 2nd at Earl Anthony's Dublin event. 5th at the ARC Sacramento Open.
Chris, one of the best left-handed styles on the tour. Parker Bohn, you see him leave a solid 7.
So Parker wants to become the 6th top seed to win this year.
Top seeds have only averaged 200 this year. Their opponents 216. No wonder they have struggled to a 5-16 record.
Okay. So
the head pin, the scout, they call it out here on the tour. Here it goes to the right sideboard, comes across. Good break for Parker as he is spared and strike in his first 2 frames.
Oh.
Awfully good for a 9. A wry smile there. Misses the 10-pin in the first frame on a ball that could have been a strike, and here he has his 9-pin on another ball that could have been a strike. Not going his way in the first 2 frames.
This is our championship match at Bowl El Paso.
Last rookie to win a PBA title was Jimmy Johnson at the 1990 Brunswick World Open. He's the son of Hall of Famer Don Johnson, who competes on the senior PBA Tour.
Staying very, very low. Derek Williams. Parker Bohn is up bowling out of Freehold, New Jersey. 1990, 6 telecasts. He won 3 times, all 3 from the top seed. That's his position here this afternoon. Tournament leader. Parker Bohn relates his worst break in his PBA career.
Well, Bo, it would be in 1987 in Baltimore. I was bowling Butch Soper for the TV show, The 42nd Game. He left the 2-4-5 in the 10th. Somehow the 4-pin fell down, hit a pin, it rolled over into the 5-pin. The 5-pin fell forward into the 2-pin, which fell down right before the table came down, and unfortunately for me, he threw the next strike and it knocked me off the TV show.
Parker was hoping.
Well, Chris, the head pin comes back across but doesn't take out the 7-pin this time, and a situation as the 7-pin still wiggling down there is almost the same as we saw earlier, where the machine stopped the pinfall, and Parker quickly up and makes the spare.
Little hula hoop. 20,000 to the winner of this event and the El Paso Open Trophy. So in the 4th frame, made a 7-pin spare as Mike Connor has come in from Akron. He's the commissioner of the PBA. Check things out, and glad to have him here. Now again for a 7-pin.
Mike Connor, Chris, just coming from Las Vegas from the Bowling Proprietors Convention, where Dan Quayle was the featured speaker Thursday afternoon and did a little bowling. He could use a few tips. Now it's Parker Bohn, who leads by 21 in the 5th.
Beautiful strike. Last year, Parker won 69,000. 47,000 already this year.
As nice a style as you can have in bowling. This young man has it all. Position here, position on the approach, he'll between the second, third arrow. Watch this golden arm swing, inside-out release, and great wrist action.
Come on! All right, the man that won his first PBA championship in Seattle in 1987, his second, the Brunswick World Open in '89. And there's his mom, who's so active with those disabled youngsters. His mom, Jean, and his wife, Mary.
Great reaction to a great shot. Look at that knee bend that Parker had. Now, Derek Williams, can he answer? Interesting part about our sport, Chris. We note that Derek Williams, a very powerful man at 6 feet, 200 pounds, bowling against a fellow 5'11". And right now, all Derek has to do is get the ball to the left of the 2-pin, bounce it in the 7. And I believe the big strong man is a little bit intimidated by the younger, powerful player.
And that open here in the championship match.
Well, right now, Derek Williams is a must-strike situation with still 4 frames left. He trails by 44, and Parker Bohn does not look back.
So Parker now with a double up, leading by 44, shooting in the 7th frame, title game, carefully places himself on the approach.
Watch this knee bend at the foul line.
Come on, come on, come on.
Trying for the clincher, 3 in a row.
Chris, Dave Davis, 20 years ago, almost a mirror of this style. Parker Bohn, they're both from the same school of thought. Good knee bend, good fundamental, tremendous wrist action. Davis, still a great competitor on the seniors tour, has got to be proud of this man who can put it away with this shot.
Come on, what do you say?
Watch this reaction. Man that's won 2 matches, Derek Williams, bowling out of Groves, Texas. Great champion Mark Williams' brother.
Both these players started bowling at the age of 8. Derek Williams had a 300 game at the age of 13. Has a very, very slim chance if he can strike out.
So, next week, we're in Tucson, Golden Pin event, as we look at leaders by round here of the El Paso event.
Well, the format will be the same next week, Chris. 42 games. As Forkel is the money leader, and Parker Bohn will be creeping up with a victory here. And Tucson, Chris, our defending champion, Norm Duke will be there.
Are you bowling next week?
Come on.
Chris, I'm taking a week off.
Okay.
And then on to Wichita as Parker Bohn knows he has this match pretty well in hand. He needs 1 mark in the last 2 frames. A spare here, and it's his 6th title. Hello.
All right, in El Paso, and on the south shore of the Rio Grande River, Ciudad Juarez, Mitchell DeBlato of the El Paso Convention Visitors Bureau showed us around and made us fully appreciate El Paso and Juarez. Gene and his wife, Mary. Mary, mother of Parker IV and Evan.
Tournament leaders doing much better the last 5 weeks on ABC TV, as this will be the third tournament leader to win in 5 weeks.
Wow. It'll be in the 240s, a big championship game for Parker, a second at Dublin, Earl Anthony's event, and then a fifth at the ARC Sacramento Open. And from the top seed, he'll have won 6 and lost 2. 247, the winner of the El Paso Open. Listen to him cheer for Parker Bohn. 247 to 212, and there is the champion. All the good deeds even magnified here with a win.
I'll say, boy, I'll tell you, skipping 2 weeks ago to go home to help out the special kids at home, it all paid out here. Look.
Well, I hope that sends a big message across America.
The kids are really special, but I'll tell you, I would definitely like to thank the people here at Bowl El Paso and the city of El Paso. It's a really wonderful city. Unfortunately, I live on the East Coast, but I'll be back here every year.
Well, Frank Hatfield, one of the co-proprietors, is here with spoils of victory for you.
I'm waiting.
Okay. I want to present you this check on behalf of Bowl El Paso, its staff, and all of our co-sponsors and everything. And we're proud you got your 6th victory in El Paso, Texas, and everything.
Okay, let's bring in Carlos Ramirez, who's executive director of the El Paso Visitors and Convention Bureau.
I would like to present to you this trophy on behalf of the city of El Paso to remind you about El Paso, the Paso of the North. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. City of El Paso. I'll always remember it.
I wish we had time to bring Mary and Evan and your mom, Jean, in here, but we're so proud of you and Johnny Petraglia for helping all those disabled kids. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Chris. It's
all right.
Really, really wonderful.
We'll see Parker again. We'll see Derek again right here on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Thank you, El Paso. For Bo Burton, this is Chris Schenkel saying so long. We'll be in Tucson next week.